have a weird love-hate relationship with the episode Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000. Yes, I love the episode, but there was so much wasted potential. This episode could have been Season 2's next Suited for Success. And that's saying a lot because Suited for Success is like artistic genius within itself. And it was almost there. Almost. Until it fell flat on itself. This is more of an in-depth analysis instead of just an episode review. And it will be split into 3 parts, which could be watched individually. But I do recommend seeing it all together so you can get the big picture that I'm trying to come across. The things that will be discussed is the taking away of misconceptions, what underlying things is actually being presented, and why the episode essentially tripped on the finish line of awesomeness. Just so you don't have to rewatch the episode, or you forgot about the episode, or you haven't even seen the episode. Cider season in Ponyville has begun, and we all know that if it has to do with apples, it's going to be about the Apple family. So the Apple family is the major provider of Ponyville, and like every year they run out of cider even before half of the line could get a cup. Before a riot could ensue, in come Flim and Flam. The brothers promised that they could satisfy Ponyville's cider cravings with their extraordinary moving cider brewery, the Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000. After showing what their machine can do, Flim and Flam offer the Apple family a partnership. The brothers provide the Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 as well as their magic to power it, and the Apple family provides, well, the apples. Which they'll split the profits 75-25, 75 for the brothers. AJ and the crew reject the offer completely, saying that with that kind of profit they'll lose the farm. Flim and Flam just shrugs, saying, alright, if you don't want to be partners, then we'll be competitors. When the brothers reappear the next day right after the apples have run out of their supply, again, things escalate and the two declare a contest. Both teams have 1 hour to produce as much cider as they can, and the winner will be named the sole cider provider for all of Ponyville. Twilight and her crew call themselves honorary family members to go help Applejack halfway in the tournament after seeing that there was no way that the apple's 1 barrel could match up for Flim and Flam's 3. After the brothers see that the apples are getting ahead of them, they cut corners too by doubling their machine's power and turning off the quality control. The Flim and Flam brothers win even with the main 6 helping the apples. But the Flim Flam brothers leave town anyways because for some reason or another, they give a few customers a bad batch and they deem that they can't sell their cider there anymore. The end. You're seeing all the mistakes there already, huh? But we'll get to that soon enough. The misconception that should be snuffed out and gotten rid of entirely is the idea that Flim and Flam are lazy. They are not lazy. And the proof of that is held with their machine, the Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000. Look at Flim and Flam's character design. They are tall, skinny, and lanky. Obviously they cannot buck like Applejack or run like Big Mac, but they still want to make cider. So however long ago they decided to use the 2 tools that they knew that they had, their intelligence and their magic. It is implied through the entirety of the episode that the Flim Flam brothers built the Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000. And it's not just a brewery, it's a brewery on wheels. We have yet to see something as advanced before or since that episode. The most advanced thing second to that machine is a train. We don't know how much time they spent researching, designing, building, testing, taste testing, going through prototypes, etc., a process that would have taken months, if not years, to reach the satisfaction to where they are now. And if that's not enough proof of their hard work, here's something else to think about. The Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 is solely powered by their magic. And as it is well established throughout the entire series that magic is not a never-ending energy source. We are shown that with Twilight, Cadence, Shining Armor, and anyone else that has to use excessive amounts of magic at once. And that's a lot to take in considering that the Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 is not just powered when making cider, it is the brothers' mode of transportation, meaning that they can go long periods of time powering a 3-ton machine. So not only are you taking into account the time and money spent to build the machine, you also have to take into account the time and practice that they spent building up their stamina in order to power this machine for long periods of time. And it's not a fact that's glossed over either. Well, it is, and it isn't. It's a very blink and you'll miss it moment. It is shown in the part where the time is almost running out and it's panning through Twilight and her friends and the Apple family. And then you'll see Flim and Flam and they're slowly nodding off. I do believe if the contest was any longer, they would have passed out because they're not used to using that amount of power within such a short time. So yeah, Flim and Flam are not all that lazy. Another reality that might be a little harder to accept for most people is that Flim and Flam never flim flam. I repeat, Flim and Flam never flim flam. In fact, they never lied throughout the entire episode. Flim and Flam are not conmen, they never conned anybody. They did everything that they set out to do. They came into town, said that they could make some good cider very quickly, and that they could make cider quicker than the Apple family could. And they did just that. But what about the competition and how they cheated when they turned off the quality control and all that? Flim and Flam never cheated. It was never stated in the rules how the cider should have tasted. The contest just said who can make the most barrels, and they made the most barrels, and there you go. Fair and square. And besides, if you're considering that cheating, what about Twilight and her crew? This was just a dispute between Flim Flam and the Apple family. So considering that means that the Apple family gave in first. And even then, think of it this way, it doesn't look like Flim and Flam ever done that before. They saw the Apple family getting ahead, they freaked out, and they were like, double power. Oh, no, that doesn't work. Turn off the quality control. The brothers were never ready to quote-unquote cheat. If they were, they would just be all like, okay, double power. And then we'll turn off the quality control and then we'll pwn everybody. It was completely by the moment. But the 25-75 thing sucked. It was never shown throughout the entire episode that the brothers were above negotiation. In fact, in the ending, they tried to negotiate with the customers. It's not like they came into town, went to the Apple family, and was like, yo, this is what we have, this is what we want, take it or leave it. And it is shown in other episodes that negotiation is part of, like, equestrian society in the marketplace. But I do understand where the misconception comes from. After all, look at their name. Flim Flam does mean to swindle. And then their song is heavily referencing a song that a con man sings. But in all honesty, when I first saw them, I thought of those music guys. Yeah, those. But then again, look at Rarity. Most of the fandom admits that at first they didn't care about the character because in any other situation, she would have been an antagonist and an entire, annoyance throughout the entire series. And in a way, I find it kind of refreshing because they're not held down by their name. It's not like with Fluttershy where a lot of people bring up, well, what are they going to do? What are they going to do with Fluttershy? It's like, of course they're going to focus on her shyness all the time. It's part of her name. But they don't have to do that with Flim and Flam because they don't have honesty issues or swindling issues. They're just cider brewers. Pirelli, Dr. Temnis, Harold Hill, Ed Wansler, and that dude from SpongeBob are conmen, or twisted businessmen, which Flim and Flam are neither of those. The brothers are manipulative, but they're the kind of manipulative that no one needs to lie or hold up a sign that the way that Applejack and her family works is extremely flawed.
What seems to be the problem here?
Oh my, out of cider again?
Oh, look at these poor, dissatisfied ponies.
It's like you could see in their face, they're like, you don't need us. Yeah, I see you're handling this very well. Which I personally think is the best kind of manipulative. And no, this does not undermine the reference from The Music Man, but it's only the song, not exactly the characters themselves. But if we really want to compare the characters to somebody, we should compare them to characters like Joe McFaw from Paul Bunyan. No, seriously. Watch the last 5 or 7 minutes and...
Who are you? And what the sandhill's that thing?
Me? I'm Joe McFaw, and this thing is the latest model of the handy-dandy steam saw. Now, Bub, if you'll just step aside, I'd like to cut this tree down.
Up here, we cut timber with a big axe like this one.
Look, Bub, you gotta get with the times. Become modern. There's the latest invention for hauling timber. A steam Loki. With this steam saw and that engine, I can cut and haul more timber than you and that blue ox ever thought of.
Is that so? You with your newfangled contraptions.
You with your big axe and old fogey ways.
I'll show you what I can do with this axe.
I dare you to try it.
It's like, bam! There you go, Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000, the episode. Just give Joe McFall a twin brother without a mustache in there. Bam! Flim flam! Flim flam, yo! I would go deeper on how the brothers actually are more representative of the inventive 20th century type, but that's for the next video. And we'll continue this in part 2. So thank you for listening to my first over analytical video thing.